Hi, it's Kim from Expressions of the Universe with your weekly wisdom for October 25th through October 31st, Halloween, the full blue hunter's moon on Halloween, second full moon of October. I'm going to do a little mini read for every single sign for this week and the full moon, and then I'll talk about the astrology as well. Or I should say, I'll probably talk about the astrology and then do a little mini read. I also kind of want to do a little mini reading for the United States elections after I do the readings for the signs. So you could stick around or not. I've been dying to. I tried to start to do one about a week ago, and then I abandoned that because I just wasn't liking the energy. My guides have told me that it's still really kind of 50-50. In a sense, it is leaning in one direction, but my guides usually don't tell me until right before the election who is going to win. And I'm usually shocked, whether it's a good shock or a bad shock. So I'm going to do a little mini read so I could do some prediction and see what it brings us. But we have a pretty good week ahead of us. Yes, there are tensions. However, what I was picking up is that any tensions that we're going to feel this week are really our own emotional tensions. So you may perceive them as coming from somewhere on the outside of you, but it's really all in here. So these are things that we're looking at. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Scorpios. The sun finally has moved into Scorpio. It's at 0 degrees as I'm recording this. And so this next 30 days is about boundaries and protection. It's also about our secrets, the things that we keep secret, like the things that we're putting up a boundary about. It's also jealousy and anger. It's also the things that we protect, that we're very protective of. So we're taking a look at some really deep emotions over the next 30 days. This full moon is really going to bring out that energy. And so with that, any tensions are belonging to our own emotions this month. What do I have for you on deck? The astrology looks a little mild. Yes, there are tensions. There are some challenges and obstacles, but I think they're not as bad as we've been dealing with over, the past couple of months. We still have some shocks and surprises that are going to be coming out. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are geological happenings, like earthquakes or, tsunamis, hurricanes, some sort of storms, even snowstorms. We're still dealing with a lot of issues on Earth. We will be all the way up through at least January. But there's also going to be some news about things in outer space that we're going to be hearing about, possibly some new technology coming out. So on October 27th, which is Tuesday coming up, Venus and Mercury are going to move into Libra, which is really beautiful energy. And Libra wants to balance things out. It wants harmony. It wants love and bliss. Venus will be in her home sign. Now you have to remember, Mercury, our communicator, our mind, the thinker, is retrograde until November 3rd. So I think things will still be softer. You're bringing the heart in, which is Venus, and you're bringing the mind and our mouths in to Libra. So the tone might be softer, but I think with that Mercury retrograde, and, we're in Scorpio season, and the retrograde is technically a Mercury in Scorpio retrograde. I wouldn't be surprised if some big secret comes out, some kind of shocking news, especially because the sun in Scorpio is opposing Uranus, the shocker, in Taurus. Now he's retrograde. That's where the geological issues could come in, and there's that opposition. So there's that tension between, the secrets of Scorpio and then Uranus wanting to like bust through and change things or bring about a change of some sort, like put some things into the spotlight. I'm also seeing squares between Mars, which is retrograde until November 13th in Aries, and the COVID planets in Capricorn, which is Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, and also a square from the sun. So it's almost like you've got this war going on and everything is pointing towards, the hierarchies, the governments, the foundations that we're all built on. I wish I would have put out my video, and, and I know I've said it over the last 2 years, that cluster of planets of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn was going to be bringing about a lot of changes in governments, in finances, in business, also religion. And I saw on the news this week that the Pope made a statement that all people should be part of a family, regardless of their sexual orientation. And I thought that was so beautiful. And that is exactly what we're moving towards, a more humanitarian oneness in the world. So I think we just got a little bit of a glimpse of where we're headed into the age of Aquarius. And as Saturn and Jupiter will move into those signs very soon, we're starting to feel that energy. We're starting to feel the lightness. Things are speeding up finally. It seemed like 2020 took forever, and now we're almost at the end of October. It's like, where did October go? It's blowing by so quickly. My notes here, and looking at the astrological calendar, like I said, we do have some tensions going on, but I think it's a pretty good week. It's going to be a little bit of a mild week. I know I'm celebrating Halloween, which is also known as Samhain. It's spelled Samhain, Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. It's Celtic. That is on Saturday. But Friday, the moon moves into Taurus. That's Friday, October 30th. The moon moves into Taurus at 5:19 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have the full blue hunter's moon at 10:49 a.m. on Saturday, October 31st. So early in the morning. But we're going to start to work our magic, set our intentions, ceremonies, rituals on Friday night. And the moon will not start to move into Gemini until Sunday at 9:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's like we have almost the entire weekend. You know how sometimes I talk about last new moon, the new moon occurred at like 3 in the afternoon, and it went void, of course, at 6 o'clock p.m. So and it was during a weekday. I didn't have time to do ceremony, so I kind of planned it ahead of time, but you could also plan it after, 3 days before, 3 days after. You don't want to do things during a void, of course, moon, because it means like the moon, those intentions are offline. They're like in this limbo stage. They're in the bridge between the sign that it was in and the next sign. So if you ever have any questions about that, hit me up. I should probably just do a whole entire video about void, of course, moons. But, so we have that Taurus moon. Taurus is a major manifesting sign. Taurus is the manifester of material goods, of prosperity and wealth coming in Friday evening and not exiting until Sunday evening. So you've got all weekend to do ceremony, ritual, and intention setting. And it's the full hunter's moon. What are you hunting for? What is it that you're going for? This is the second full moon of October. That's why it's called a blue moon. And, once in a blue moon. This is huge. And it's at 8 degrees. 8 is the symbol of infinity. 8 is also like the symbol of the spider. Think about the spider's body. Spiders are the creators. Native Americans and a lot of other native cultures believe that the spider, the mother spider, was the creator of the universe and the world. She weaves her web, but she's also she's creating this beautiful magic. And that is what is happening on Halloween. I mean, like, we only get a full moon on Halloween every 18 to 19 years. So this is super special. Make the most of it. Also, I took some notes for the upcoming energy. So November 1st is All Saints Day, which some people, I think that's in Christian religion, but it's also the beginning of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, when people honor their dead. Now, it is a Mexican holiday that is starting to spread throughout the world. I just did a painting of a sugar skull of my golden retriever, Sugar, in honor of her. So Dia de los Muertos is when we honor our dead. We set up an altar. We put the photographs of our loved ones that have passed. We place flowers and offerings of food and drink and candles. I saw a really great movie that was on Disney a couple of weeks ago that I forget what the name of the movie is, but it's all about Dia de los Muertos. And this one skeleton had to get his photo back into the living world so that his last remaining child would remember him. Otherwise, he would fade away. So when, our loved ones, they stay alive as long as we are alive and we carry their memories and tell their stories. So just remember that. Dia de los Muertos begins on November 1st and it usually carries through till November 3rd. It's a big, huge festival. So I encourage all of you to honor those that you loved that have passed and honor and remember their memory to keep them alive. November 1st is also daylight saving time. And in a lot of parts of the world, not my favorite. I'm not a fan of moving the clock around because it doesn't save. I think it actually causes the use of more electricity, but it's a farmer thing. November 3rd, Mercury goes direct. November 13th, Mars goes direct. November 15th, we have a new moon in Sagittarius. On November 28th, Neptune goes direct. I may have that date wrong. And November 30th, full moon in Gemini. Yay! But there's a lunar eclipse, and it's at 11:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's at 8 degrees also. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, let's get into reading for each sign, and then I will do a little reading for the United States election. And we'll see maybe what the outcome could be. All right, so going to pull from the Halloween deck for each sign. I may do some other cards. I know that I have not done the tarot scopes, and I just haven't had the time. My schedule has been so packed, but I'm really going to try this coming week to do one big video for November tarot scopes. And I'm sorry because I know a lot of you like it, but I can only do what I can do. I've just had a very, very busy schedule. So, and I miss it too because I like to see what my personal cards are. I haven't even had the chance to do that. Okay, so let's cut these. And I've been using the Halloween Oracle deck from Stacy DeMarco all month. That's right there. And I always use this during the month of October because it's spooky and scary and appropriate. All right, I'm just going to take from the top right here. And here we go. Aries. I got to put on my glasses. What the hell? Aries, you little rams. You got Black Cat. And it says fortune meets opportunity. So that will be your card for the full moon. I love that. Jealous. Taurus. Lady de los Muertos. And it says acceptance and equality is your theme. And I think that really goes true, especially with Uranus being opposing the sun this entire month. So there's going to be, for the Tauruses, I think that there's going to be a lot of challenges. And so I think you're going to have to come to a place of acceptance. I think people in general are going to do an about face or maybe some kind of really unexpected shock. I think that's where the little bit of bumpiness might come in. But for Tauruses, this plays a huge part for you. And just come to a place of acceptance in whatever challenges come your way. Try and find the lesson within that. Geminis, Midnight is your card. Ooh. And it says the most magical hour of all. So I'm thinking that this could even be the midnight on October 30th, you know, when it's coming into Halloween. Do your ritual or your ceremony at that time. I just kind of got a chill up my spine, like we will definitely be visited by ghosts. And so I think that this is a magical time. Do your manifesting then, and hopefully it will come true. Cancers, Owl is your card, and it's wise seeing, wise action. So the owl usually sees behind the veil. You have to see what is typically hidden, or what seems or appears to be hidden, and you're going to take wise action against the things that you're discovering. Now, Cancer is a sister sign to Scorpio, so you'll be very in tune with this full moon. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So I would expect a lot of ghostly happenings and, you know, maybe some chance encounters with the other side. Leo, this is about your ancestors. So definitely pay attention to Dia de los Muertos. And this says the love and legacy of our DNA. And I love that. So this is just going out to any of the Leos. It's really going out to all of you, just to remind you that as long as we remember our loved ones, they're not gone. And this is the time of year where they're coming to visit. And in that movie that I saw on Disney about Dia de los Muertos, I can't remember what the name of that movie is. I keep thinking of Coraline, but it's not Coraline. I don't know, maybe one of you will remember and you can comment me, but, you know, when we're remembering our loved ones that have passed, our ancestors, it actually helps them to come through the veil and visit us. So pay attention to the signs. That's for all of us. Virgos, Skull of Flowers. And this says creating through the ashes. And I think that that's pretty beautiful and amazing. So for the Virgo, sun signs, rising signs, and moons, you may have had some tragic losses. or disappointments as of late. But there's always still something remaining that you can create some beauty from. You could take trash and turn it into treasure, is what I'm hearing. Libra, sun signs, rising signs, and moons. You have the card of death. Now, that doesn't mean death. This is making me think of change and transformation. Something is coming to an end. Something is changing. There will be a rebirth, a transformation. Think of the phoenix rising up out of the flames. But this is also talking about that veil. Somebody on the other side really wants to connect with you. And your little theme says the eternal cycle begins here. So something that has ended is finally turning around at this time, and a new beginning is coming. Scorpios. Ooh, happy birthday, Scorpios. Sun signs, rising signs, and moons. How fantastic is that? You got Spider. I love it. Spider is the creator. That's what this full moon is all about. And the full moon is in Taurus. I did say that, right? 8 degrees. This talks about community and web weaving. Now, I did just talk about the spider in detail and how Native Americans and other cultures consider the spider the creator of the universe. The body is shaped like an 8. You can see it right here if you just imagine. And don't forget, they have 8 legs. They also have 8 eyes. 8 is a huge number. So this is a super manifesting time for the Scorpio sun signs, rising signs, and moons. It's a super manifesting time for all of us, but especially for you. So love that. Ooh. Okay, Sagittarians, werewolf. And this card was represented this past week. And I did a little write-up on Facebook and Instagram about what werewolf means. This is about allowing yourself to be wild, allowing yourself to follow your true nature and start to be more authentic and stand in your own integrity. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not. This is also telling you to get out into nature more so that you can connect with your true being. But you can also go to my Instagram and Facebook and check out what I wrote up about this card and how it relates to the Scorpio season. So you have a little bit of an added bonus. Capricorns. I love this. So Capricorns are getting the forgiveness card, which is a little heavy, especially at this time. But I think it's a good time for you to unload any unneeded baggage at this point. This is about forgiving, not only other people, but forgiving yourself for, things that you may have regrets about, forgiving yourself for maybe not being enough at certain points in time in your life, like that's in the past. The past is in the past. I know that I have a bad habit of sometimes allowing myself to get sentimental and go back to an old place and say, oh, I wish I would have done that better. I wish I would have handled that situation better. And that's where I have to come in and forgive myself, because if we knew better, we would do better. And we're constantly growing. So try to find the forgiveness in your heart. Doesn't mean that you're condoning anything that somebody may have done to you. Doesn't mean that you have to be friends with someone else. You do still have to be friends with yourself. You're not condoning anything that you did, but you're clearing your heart. You're unloading this baggage so that you can manifest coming in. The sun's going to be moving into Capricorn very soon. Things are speeding up. So you want to go into your birthday season feeling much lighter. And so I think it will come through emotional forgiveness. Oh, and it does say your little theme down at the bottom. And I featured this card about a week or so ago on Facebook and Instagram. This says, reducing your burden. So that made sense, everything that I said about lightening your load. Okay, we are at Aquarius. Aquarius, you have Skull of Stars, and I did feature this card recently as well. and it talks about infinite possibilities. And I think this is really great for the Aquarians because we are really finally starting to move into more of an age of Aquarius, that oneness, that humanitarianism, that expansion, especially with Jupiter and Saturn both moving into Aquarius in December. The possibilities are going to be infinite. Pluto will then move in, I think around the end of 2022 or beginning of 2023. Saturn will and Jupiter will both already be gone, but Pluto will be continuing that energy for, my gosh, what is it, 30 years, 37 years, I think it is, before Saturn comes around and meets that. I probably won't be around, but a lot of you Aquarians, you age well, so I expect that you'll still be here. Think big, dream big, put out those intentions because you have infinite possibilities coming to you. And finally, last but not least, Pisces, Night Song. Did I do Taurus? I'm just like, I'm drawing a blank right now. So Night Song, and I love the cardinal. I just did a painting of a male and a female cardinal. It's probably one of my favorite pieces of art that I've done recently, besides my Black-Eyed Susans. But Night Song talks about the birds that you hear at night. And if you do hear birds singing at night, it means that loved ones on the other side of the veil are very close by. Your theme here says hidden talents. Hidden talents. All right, so what I'm picking up from hidden talents. Now, Pisces, you are a sister sign of Scorpio, so this will be a powerful full moon for you. Not to mention, your ruling planet of Neptune will finally be going direct in November, so that will give you an added boost as well. Your hidden talents, it's making me feel as though a lot of you have a hobby that you could turn into your life's work, your life's joy. When we are doing something that we love, it's not actually work. So when I'm doing this or when I'm creating art, I don't feel like I'm working. I'm playing all of the time. That's what the Pisces need to do. I feel like a lot of Pisces have really been nose to the grindstone, doing things just to earn a living and pay the bills. Now it's a time to find some of those hidden talents and start to enjoy your life more. That's what I think this is. The cardinal makes me think of paying attention to the signs and paying attention to the messages from the other side. Could even be a cardinal that shows up. If you do happen to see the cardinal, stop yourself and think about what you're thinking at that moment. And that's kind of like your message. Okay, so I hope you liked that little mini reading for all of you. I'm going to put this down a little bit, push this back to give us some more space so that you could still see me. Let's do a little mini reading for the upcoming United States election. It's really interesting that I've been seeing a lot of readers from Australia or the UK doing predictions because they're just so over this whole entire United States situation. Just think about what it's like to be living here. Now, I'm not going to get political on anybody by any means, but I'm just curious. I'm curious to see what comes out and to see if I can get some sort of an answer. So I'm going to use my my astrology decks and then this one tarot deck that I have. My new Rider-Waite tarot deck. I need to unload the burden. Isn't that interesting? So I love that because it's like a huge burden is going to be unloaded or let go of. Um, we'll see. We'll see how accurate these predictions are a week from now. So the election in the United States is on November 3rd. I don't feel as though we're going to know the outcome on November 3rd. Just tell you that right now, because we're having ballot chaos here because of COVID. A lot of people do not want to go to the polls, so they're doing mail-in ballots, and it's just voting chaos. I personally will be voting in person at the polls on November 3rd with my family. And I'm not telling you who I'm voting for because I don't want to get political, but I just want to say that I'm really exhausted from these last 4 years because every single day we have to watch a reality show, and I'm over it. But I don't want any disparity. It's just really tiring for, I think, every American, not only the Americans, all of you. I know so many of you that do not live in this country, and you're tired of all of this chaos. We just want it to be over. I just want some peace and quiet. So let's see. Let's see what we're going to get. Also, too, the elections are occurring right at the time Mercury is going to be stationing direct, halfway through the election hours. So Mercury is retrograde, and it's coming to a complete halt to get ready to move direct. But, you know, Mercury is it's going to be in Libra when it stations direct. So are we getting the balance and the fairness? What secrets are going to be coming out? Are the communications going to be accurate? So I think that there's going to be a lot of ballot count chaos because of Mercury retrograde. And you also have to take into consideration Mars is also retrograde until November 13th. And just looking at the planetary alignments, I don't think we're really even going to know the results until somewhere between November 10th and November 14th. We will not know. And I feel as though someone will not accept what the final results are. But let's see what the cards have to say. Okay, so we have the 4th house, which is about the home. It's about nurturing. It's about comfort. So there's going to be a big highlight on people, their families, and the home. Okay, and the 4th house, which is emotions from, you know, that Cancerian. Cancer rules the 4th house, so that's the moon. Yeah, there's going to be a big focus on that. Then we have Uranus. Uranus is going to be opposing the sun. I told you there's going to be some kind of huge shakeup. There's going to be a shock. You know, look at the depiction of this card, which is lightning bolt. There is a lightning bolt that's coming down. It's going to be a huge shocker. And, you know, it's interesting because looking at the astrology on Halloween, it's so sublime. And then it starts to kind of turn a little challenging. So we're going to feel a lot of tensions, you know, leading up to this. And I'm just going to go back to this 4th house card so that you could see the imagery. You have a baby's hand inside of a mom's hand. There's a home in the background. You've got the color of green, which is healing. It's also nurturing. Then we have this big shocker coming. All right. Now, I will say this since I'm making this video, that I've predicted that whoever gets into office is not going to live out their term. I mean, it's common sense. People may say because both of the candidates, Biden and Trump, are both in their 70s. So, you know, but I was feeling like a gunshot I also had this vision of if there's an indictment with Trump, if he doesn't get elected, that he could possibly commit suicide because he wouldn't want to bear the shame of what could come out with his taxes and, dirty his family's name. Or there could be some sort of an assassination that also that shot could be a heart attack because like it kind of correlates together. And I did have a vision at one point that like I saw Kamala Harris as the president of the United States, not only the first woman, first African American Asian woman. So I don't know, but we get conflicting, meaning psychics and mediums, we get conflicting information because it's so fluid that in that moment that could have been what it was. But then, one person changes their mind and starts to go in a different direction and it kind of changes the trajectory. And that's why my guides usually don't tell me until like the week of, or sometimes even the night before the election, of who is actually going to win. And I get this really weird dude whispering in my ear. He has a really deep baritone voice. So I'm waiting for it to happen. The first time it happened, I was looking around like, okay, who's out here with me? Because I was out in the backyard at 3:30 in the morning taking the dog out, and I heard this really deep male voice whisper in my ear, and I'm like, who's out here with me? And then it happened again, and I realized, oh, this is one of my guides that I've never heard from before. All right, so anyway, what's passing? So Pisces, the energy that is passing, it's this illusion or a delusion of how things are, what things are. This talks about there's a very compassionate and forgiving energy. It confuses and softens resolve. So the energy is wistful. It's endlessly loving. So, but this is showing up in the position of what is passing. But when I think of Pisces, I think of avoidance. I think of illusion. I think of dreams. So are our dreams passing? Are the illusions passing? Is our avoidance passing? So keep that in mind. And then what is coming? What's coming in the future? 6th house. So this is health, it's work, it's our daily routines. So, all of this is going to be changing, I feel. There's going to be a big focus on the self, taking care of the self. Really, when I see this, I'm thinking we could be in for a hard winter with COVID. However, the focus here on this reading is the United States elections. So how can I tie that in? The 6th house, we're getting down the details. We're analyzing things. We're getting to work. This is our work, our daily lifestyle, the duties that we have in life. Maybe we're getting back to normal. Everything's going to start to normalize. We'll see. Okay, so there's from that card pile. I hope you're finding this interesting because I am, and I like to have this record because I want to go back in 2 weeks and see, was there a shocker? Are we moving back more into a home base? That's what I've been saying for the last 2 years. Couldn't figure out when I saw all the planets in Capricorn, moving into Capricorn, and I saw that North Node in Cancer, and I said, yeah, we're going to be putting a bigger focus on the home and the family, and I couldn't see how we would be working in our homes and spending more time with our families, and so it's really weird how that all worked out. But that's where the focus is coming back. So are we going to be sequestered in our homes for the rest of the winter, for all of 2021? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But There's something about that energy. Okay, so let's move these down so that you can see them a little bit better. Now, on top of this fourth house card, we have the sun is going to be shining. So there's going to be a lot of energy placed on the home and the family. This is also, possibly our actual homes. Big changes are coming with that. And I think that we're going to be spending still more time in our homes. What's the big shocker? South Node, life's debts. Karma is coming calling. So that's what the South Node is about. Currently, the South Node is in Sagittarius, and we're going to have to take our beliefs, the things that we've believed in for so long, and they're going out because a new truth is coming in, new information is coming in. That's what this Uranus card is. The North Node in Gemini is pointing towards this expansion of truth. We have to forget about all the different things that we used to believe in because there's going to be a huge shift in energy. And life's debts or karma are going to have to be paid. So that's going to be in direct correlation with this election. You kind of getting where I'm going with this? Now, on top of the Pisces, we have fifth house of creativity. So games, the comedy and drama, the comedy and tragedy, this is in the position of what is leaving us. That's another clue. I want you to draw your own conclusions because it's almost like I don't want to say it, but, or am I reading it that way? No, because this is the position of what is leaving, and definitely the comedy and tragedy is on its way out. That's the way I'm seeing it depicted. Okay, and look at the colors in this card. I know if my friend Zen is watching this video, I'm going to have to send it to her. She's going to be hysterical in this moment. But, just look at the pictures. So the hilarity, I think, is, I may be wrong. Now, what is coming? What's coming on top of this sixth house card? It's a yod, and it's destiny. So whatever happens during this election period, it is destined to happen. Now, that's not to say that I didn't pick up the information, me and a lot of other people, that, Donald Trump is a light worker, and people are like, what? How can it be? And I know a lot of people are having a hard time wrapping their head around that. However, the people in the world really needed to see what friggin' mess this world is, and I think he showed it to us. Also, he enabled a lot of people that were hiding in the shadows about the truth of their morals and their values or lack thereof. It allowed them to come out and show themselves to the world. So I think he played a really great role for all of us. As chaotic as it has been, as exhausting as it has been, I think that he served a purpose, and there couldn't have been a better person to throw all of the shit of the world on the table than Donald Trump, to be honest with you, because he's the only one that has the balls enough to do it. And I think that's why a lot of people like him, because of that. But that's also the reason why a lot of people don't like him, is because of that. But if you can see him as a light worker and how he showed the entire world, what needs to be fixed in this world, if you can just focus on that, then you'll see him in a different light. And you know what I always do when I'm having a difficult time with someone, like trying to see past their character that we're seeing, I just try and imagine people as a young child, because when we're young children, we're so sweet and innocent. We haven't been hurt by the world or by our mothers and fathers or our siblings and our friends and our lovers. We're still in that innocent, vulnerable stage where we're still sweet and kind. Every single one of us comes into the world sweet and kind, I believe. And then life happens and it changes us. So I try to picture people, that I have a difficult time with their personality and, character. I try and picture them as a child, because then it puts more love and compassion into my heart. There's a feather floating around there, and I just feel like, ooh. Okay, so our stage is set. Now, let's get into the tarot and see. Let's see. So I want to ask, who will win the presidency? Plain and simple. I'm just going to be short and sweet about it. I want to know who's going to win the presidency. And I'm going to do the same 4 cards. And, this is the past. This is the future. So we'll see what comes out. This is the energy that's in our face. This is the energy that's hidden below. All right, I'm going to cut these. I'm going to cut them right in front of you so you can see, just cutting the cards. I'm going to deal them. Deal them down and dirty. All right. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. And the cards aren't even telling me the answer. Okay. So we have the Lovers reversed. So this would be, I don't know, so Lovers is Gemini. Now that I'm thinking about, Donald Trump is a Gemini. So this is reversed. What is in the future position? That 6th house is Virgo, and I think Joe Biden is a Virgo. And look, we've got the Ace of Cups. So the beginning of love. The beginning of love overflowing, emotions overflowing. I think this is going to be an extremely emotional time. And it's going to run the gamut of emotions. You're going to have so many people extremely happy. You're going to have so many people extremely sad. That's what but it's a new beginning. There's a new beginning that is coming. Yeah. And you've got the Yod card here of destiny. You've got that 6th house, which is Virgo, with this. I'm really curious to see. But so the Lovers are the 6th major arcana card, which is, is it the 6th? Yes, it is the 6th. But this is the card for Gemini, the 6th month, which is June. And that is when Donald Trump was born. The underlying situation, Ace of Pentacles. So it has something to do with money, the karma. So there's going to be the beginning of some money issues, money troubles, money being revealed, possible new stimulus packages. Karma will be paid. It's going to be quite a shock. What's in the past? The miser. Who is the miser? Is that the government? So this miser holding on to all of his pennies and all of his monies and not sharing it with anybody, that's on its way out. So I'm really curious to see how accurate this is. I don't know, how am I going to wait another, 2 weeks? And then what is coming? We just talked about that. And I'm just going to end this reading on that. So there's new beginnings that are coming, but they're going to be extremely emotional for everybody. And it will run the gamut of sheer happiness to absolute sorrow. because that's how our emotions run. So who's the winner? You decide based on what I just read to all of you. I would love, love, love your comments, whether they're good or they're bad. If they're total shit, I'll just block it. No, I might respond back to you. But this is not a political post by any means. I just wanted to do a reading, a general reading about the United States election to see if anything would come up. I'm not biased because, I can see both sides to the story. I am a Gemini myself. And so I can see the good and bad in both sides. I'm not happy with either party, to be honest with you. It's like the lesser of two evils as far as I'm concerned, because I just want a planet of peace, love, and prosperity, of harmony, of oneness, where we're all free to be prosperous. I'm tired of working so hard just to, be able to buy food and everything. And I think a lot of you may all feel that same exact way. Just life is so expensive and I'm tired of that. I just want a better world, a utopia for all of us. That's where I am. And I don't like to get involved in politics because I feel that it's too 3D and it's an illusion within itself, to be honest with you, because the president or any kind of figurehead is just that. They're just a figurehead. I think that there's a man behind a curtain somewhere that's running all of these puppets. And so I don't buy into any of that. Anyway, let me know what you think. Happy full moon, happy Halloween, happy birthday, Scorpios. Let's all go and have some fun. Get a drink, celebrate, set your intentions, do your ceremonies, remember you're dead, and I'll be back hopefully very soon. See you later. Thank you for watching. Oh, and if you like this video, please share it with your friends. Show me some love. Check out my other videos that I'll be placing down here. I have hundreds of videos. Pick your own. Check out my blog at expressionsoftheuniverse.com. Check out my artwork for sale at Kimberly8183 at redbubble.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest. Bye.